Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by our sponsor, ZiiDMS. ZiiDMS is built for dealerships ready to embrace change and unlock their full potential. Yep. As the industry evolves, outdated systems continue to hold dealers back with slow workflows, limited visibility, and operational inefficiencies. From multi-location management and streamlined workflows to real-time reporting and improved visibility across every department, ZiiDMS delivers a modern, scalable platform built to simplify operations, increase your efficiency, and support long-term dealership growth, allowing your team to spend less time managing software and more time driving results. Visit ZiiDMS.com, that's ZiiDMS.com today and schedule your demo.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This is episode number 20 of the Dealership Fix It podcast. And today I've got Joe Iribarren, right, from Beyond Creative, joining me from the other side of the world, nearly. He's in South Florida, and I'm in the Pacific Northwest. So we're in completely different places, but we can kind of get on the same page in something like this podcast. Joe, welcome to episode 20.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Brian. I appreciate it.
So you have your own, I guess, are you an agency? You got your own place that does creative. And I don't know exactly what I've looked at your LinkedIn, but you want to tell me a little bit about what you got going on?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, in a nutshell, the best way to describe it is Beyond Creative is a digital growth agency. And unfortunately, nowadays, when you speak to, I wouldn't even necessarily just be dealership owners or dealership principals, just any business owner in general, right? Like the terms like branding and marketing have kind of been perceived as fluff, if you would. They're certainly, in my opinion, they're certainly not. They have a lot of value, but the difficult thing about it is it's kind of like if you would medicine, right? Like, there's a surgeon and he understands all of your insights, and he's going to go in there and he's going to cut you up and he's going to sew you up, and you have no idea what's going on in the operation because that's just not what we do. That doesn't mean that it isn't real. So I realized that it's very similar, and so digital growth is kind of like the better way to put it. So when somebody asks, "What do you do?" Well, we help particularly dealerships in the Powersports, marine, and RV industries grow through digital.
Let me paraphrase because I don't remember exactly, but you basically said going after Facebook likes is a waste of your time to dealers. And I thought, man, that is perfect. Because I've kind of had my battles with helping a buddy of mine with his company in the power sports business. He's got a product that he sells and he's the manufacturer of, and like, he wants all these likes. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I think you're chasing the wrong thing. Put the content out. Don't worry about likes. Who cares? You know? But I see my customers doing lots of things, and then I hear them talking about, oh yeah, that one got this many likes. Tell me your side of that.
So you're spot on, man. I mean, and you and I kind of prior to the podcast touched upon about content and helping people and the quality of the content, right? That's key. And that's why in that video, I won't give it all away because hopefully maybe we can entice some people to go and actually listen to the video.
I'll put a link to your LinkedIn profile in the body of this, so they could just go down there and click on that if they want to jump over and watch your videos.
Awesome. That would be great. Yeah. But I mean, essentially it's I come across a lot of dealerships that are like, yeah, let's share, and I mentioned this on the video, let's share pictures of our customers, this and that. And I say, yeah, that's so great and everything, but how is that of any value to another potential customer? You know what I mean? Like it really, it isn't. I mean, I think that what happened was at one point, a lot of dealerships attended a conference and somebody must have mentioned that, and all of a sudden it kind of picked up and it just kind of spread like wildfire. And they're like, okay, we're all going to do this. We're all going to post pictures of our customers. That's not where it's at. I mean, where it's really at is about posting stuff of value to your potential customers and to your existing customers, right? And so but that's a little bit off topic within the core of what I mentioned in that video. The core of what I mentioned in that video is that back in, uh, let's just say, Facebook had their IPO, if I'm not mistaken, in 2011. Okay, and it's crazy because it's an eerily similar story to Google. Google, the founders, just like Mark Zuckerberg, their ideas were like, we don't, we don't want to squeeze this thing for money. We really want it to be about the experience, et cetera, et cetera. And I get it. I mean, they were very dreamer, very, idealistic in that regard. And then eventually when they're like, okay, we got to make money, right? And then they go public. Now they got to answer to shareholders, et cetera, et cetera. And they start trying to figure out what ways, they can monetize the platform the most that they can. So, they had their IPO in about 2011 or whatever. I remember particularly working with a company in the fishing industry, recreational fishing. And when I first started working with them, about 14,000 Facebook likes on their page, which is not bad at all. And by the time we finished, and it was a relatively conservative campaign, but it was consistent, which is another message I would love to give dealership owners. Consistency pays off tremendously. Back then, Facebook likes mattered a lot. So we had a campaign to raise their Facebook likes, and we went from 14,000 in a matter of about a year and a half to 2 years time to close to 170,000 when, then we parted ways. Um, what was really key about this, because this company was is an advertiser, is that they would share whenever they would publish a new piece of content to their website. Then what we would do was we would share that piece of content on their Facebook page. Okay. Um, Raising the number of Facebook likes was important because back then, not the case now, Facebook would serve equally to all of your following. Okay. It would serve the content that you would publish. So in the case of this particular customer, we were publishing their articles on their website, which was important because on their website, they have paid advertisers. So they wanted more impressions, right? And whenever they would make a post on Facebook, um, then, we would get 1,500, 2,000, 2,500 hits of people who would be served that content. And then they would go to the advertisers or the publishers website, right?
Mhm.
Now, what happened with the whole IPO and everything in 2015, or right around there? I mean, they had the IPO in 2011, but like right around 2015, 2016, they changed that and they made it very pay to play. What Facebook essentially was saying is, okay, you have 1 million followers, great, but we're still not going to serve your content to the 1 million followers. What we want you to do is pay us to serve content to the people who already like your page. So, um, you know, going after page likes is not nearly as important anymore. Interactions have changed to making things, spreading things through actually paid promotions on Facebook. You know, setting they don't have to be enormous budgets, but setting some smaller advertising budgets where you can, promote your different content that you're posting. Um, and just different content strategies. Another big tip that I would have for dealership owners, which a lot of people, surprisingly enough, have not picked up on, are Facebook groups. Facebook groups have taken off in the last few years exponentially, and Facebook has given tremendous, tremendous value. And you'd be surprised, like almost every single dealership I go into, none of them don't have, 99% of them don't have a Facebook group per se. They have a Facebook page.
It sounds like
Yeah.
you're saying that one of the trends would be they should start their own dealership group page. So it'd be like a subset of their page or available on their page, or is it completely separate and analyzed differently via the value and what do they put there, I guess?
So the value really is tremendous in itself. It's a separate entity um, to the Facebook page, but it could be managed and owned by the Facebook page. Um, but the big difference is that the way that the Facebook algorithm uh, qualifies them, I guess, if you would, or categorizes them, is that more meaningful, real, human interactions happen at the Facebook group level than they do at the Facebook page level. Now, what do I mean by that? I'll give you a perfect example. My wife, I got 4 kids, believe it or not, which makes it special kind of crazy. But yeah, 3 boys and 1 girl, and our girl's the youngest one. She's 4 now. When she was first born, my wife is what you would call quote unquote crunchy. She's the type that wears babies, and she does, and she likes to, she was into the whole breastfeeding thing, which kind of broke, you know, the whole formula norm thing or whatever. But I digress. She became part of these communities on Facebook on how to wear a baby on a sling or whatever the case the terms are. How to, if milk isn't dropping, how to get more milk for the baby, et cetera, et cetera. And you'd be amazed at the friendships that came about and the interactions that came about, and they were all through Facebook groups. Okay. Why? Because it's niche, it's like-minded individuals, and it's local individuals. And that's why Facebook groups are so powerful for dealership owners, because vast majority of dealerships are local and vast majority of dealerships sell something that's about passion, that's about a pastime and something that, that people really love. So it's really important, and I'm just over and over again amazed that barely any dealers really have any Facebook groups out.
That's interesting. I think does that not just show you the level of attention span that, and not in a negative way, in a very real way. I think that we as humans have gotten to the point where, just like this podcast, right? This podcast isn't a motorcycle person. Like, anybody that likes motorcycles, like this podcast. That's not what I did, right? So I did this because I thought, really, there's a very specific audience I think that'd want to listen. It's very small in relative, I guess, terms, but the level of connectedness you're talking about has become essentially a new standard for us on the consumer side of our lives as well. So they're not wanting to engage with somewhere where they don't have a direct connection, can ask a question and get an answer. They can go and search a topic, it sounds like, probably on those groups. I know my wife did the same thing. She talks about, I just sold our, when we've got little kids too, and I sold our what do you call it, the Bob stroller, the jogging stroller. I sold the Bob stroller.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Someone's coming to pick it up. This was a year ago, I think, now that it happened, but somebody's coming to pick it up. Great. It's out by the front door, just so you know, in case somebody knocks. And I'm like, okay, well, these was an expensive stroller, right? Well, nobody knocked. Next thing I know, there was just money under the front mat, and the stroller was gone, right? I think I was working home that day, or I was doing something out in the backyard, whatever it was. I forget what day of the week it was. But I came back, the thing was gone, and I was like, well, that was good honor system. I mean, do you know this person? No, I know her from a mom group, is what she told me. Which was like, wow, interesting, like that's an interesting deal, that sort of level of trust can be established. I mean, obviously people take advantage like anything else in some cases, but.
Right. Yeah, but that's exactly right. And I find it so funny because my wife, I think, owned like freaking 3 Bob strollers. Okay. That's perfectly on point. And may I add too that I think part of it, and I'll be the first one to criticize some of these tech companies. I mean, they get a lot right. They also get some stuff wrong. And I think we also owe it to them a little bit, to give them a break. There's a lot of uncharted territory, right? I mean, we've never, as a race, I mean, just shoot, as humans, this is like, what? It's like my father says to me, he's like, man, if somebody 2,000 years ago, if you would tell him that, because he was like in Shanghai or something like that, and, at the other end of the world, at a conference, and it's like night there, and it's day here, and we're talking through our little devices or whatever. He's like, if you would have told somebody 2,000 years ago that you and I were, communicate through the other end of the world when they didn't even know that the world was round, they would think you were a god. So we've experienced so much of abrupt change in the side of technology that I also feel a little bit like, okay, these people do have a massive responsibility to get it right. At the same time, I'm also like, when you talk about, for instance, the Cambridge Analytica scandal and all those things, I want them to get it right, and I want things to be done and fixed. At the same time, I'm like, shoot, man, like it's a hot seat to be on, if you would. And so the reason why I bring that up is because, um, yeah, going back like 10 years now, everybody's always been like, well, everybody's with their nose is buried on their phone now and human interaction. And now everybody's behind a computer and da 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 da. And so because of those complaints, right, Facebook groups came about. That was kind of like the response where Facebook was like, okay, we're going to show you how we're going to make an algorithm. We're going to make something really meaningful happen with human interaction with people at a local level where people feel that they can build trust, where people feel like, some of the stuff that people share on Facebook groups, they don't even share with their parents or with their
Right.
spouses. It's crazy.
I wonder if that's the deal versus the old broadcasting a message to your audience, which is a very diverse group of all the people on your page versus, doing it in a group that you've got a core group of people that are a bit of your support network in that way.
Well, without a doubt. But I mean, look, honestly, a lot of the people that you'll have on your Facebook group may also coincide with being your Facebook page followers. The big difference is that the tone, quote unquote, on the Facebook page is very different. It's very much a lot more, you could still make it where the stuff you're publishing is selling a lifestyle, not selling a product. But even then, it's a lot more salesy. When you're talking about a Facebook group, people have their hair down. They have their guards down. It's a whole total different tone. It's about helping the public. It's about helping others. And so, talk about, for instance, if I could just think about the first one that comes off to the top of my head, like Man Cave Classifieds, who doesn't know the Facebook group like Man Cave Classifieds, and people ask questions like mechanical related questions, or where this, where this, and people trade stuff or whatever the case may be. But it's really neat. And I would agree that there's no substitute for human interaction ever. There never will be. But these are technologies that are pretty remarkable in connecting people of similar or identical interests, and incentivizing or incentivizing, I think it's how you pronounce it, a meaningful interaction.
It's good to know that if someone like Facebook and these other, whether it's social media or otherwise, are weighting the things that we need to do more of, like human interactions and being a good human and doing the right thing, the sort of things. It's a nice thought to imagine that that's actually being weighted in a way that's going to help them work the better human side of it.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure. And there'll never be also, any substitute also for, good parenting.
Yeah. Yeah, Facebook won't do it for
I
you,
mean,
will they?
exactly. I mean, if anything, maybe a Facebook, they have within Facebook groups, like you can not only ask people questions and stuff like that, but you can do what they call units. And units are essentially only available through Facebook groups. Units are a way of like people learning. It's almost like lessons, if you would, but they, for whatever reason, they name it units. And they have, and then, you can set up like a way to learn this and that. And so, I mean, technology would be good in like simplifying lessons and stuff for people to be like, oh, and study new different things. So maybe that might help in that regard. But at the end of the day, dude, you got to put in the effort and you get yourself,
Yes.
the computer's not going to do it for you,
Hey, thank you so much for hanging out and listening to this throwback episode of the Dealership Fix It podcast. We pulled this one out because the lessons still hit hard even today. If you got something out of this one, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We've got new episodes dropping, plus more throwbacks just like this one in between. There's a ton more on the channel, so go check it out. You might find a couple other episodes that'll help you out. See you on the next one.
Still guessing what to pay on a used bike? Still holding aged units that just won't move? It's time for a real system. MotoHunt's ultimate used inventory playbook shows how the best dealers are finding better inventory, pricing trades right, and turning used bikes faster, with fewer mistakes and more margin. It's short, real, and free to download right now. Visit dealers.motohunt.com to grab your copy or check for the link in the notes.